Oops. Folks, I'm just starting the recording now. So we're almost halfway through, but I just realized I wasn't recording. So we're picking up with Debbie, who is a Gemini. And Debbie, what was your question again? I want you to repeat it, please, for the recording.
My question, does the moon and the sun in different signs mean? What should I be following? Gemini fits me perfect, but I'm curious what the moon, because it falls in Virgo for me, and the sun, I'm not sure which one it falls in.
Well, if you're a Gemini, the sun would fall in Gemini. The most important planet, if you're studying astrology, the most important planet is Gemini, or pardon me, is the sun. So your sun in Gemini is going to be the planet that dominates your chart. It's the light bringer, the light giver in your life. Your moon represents your past life emotional patterns and your emotions that you bring into this life with you. And so if your moon is in Virgo, you're gonna relate to life emotionally more like a Virgo than a Gemini. And now I'm getting technical. What's interesting is that both Gemini and Virgo are ruled by the planet Mercury, which is mental. So Mercury thinks, doesn't. So whether you're emotionally involved with something or whether you're just thinking about it, or doing it, your mind is always activated. It's always in gear. Okay, that's so typical of Gemini. By the way, I'm a Gemini too. So yes, Geminis can be psychics. One of the things that I wanted to point out to you, if you look at the Gemini on the 12th house here, okay, that Gemini in the 12th house of this chart, now this is what we call a horary chart. This chart talks about every single person who's on the call this evening. I can find all of you here. And this says that, number one, right now in your life, you're doing a lot of internal evaluation of yourself. So if you were going to be getting involved with astrology right now, this would be a good time for you to do it, because astrology, especially the way I teach it, if you go to my website, www.sandyanastasia.com, it gives you the foundation psychologically for why you and the people around you act and deal with life the way you do. Now, another good thing for you to be doing right now would be studying psychology. And you mentioned when you first came on this call that your husband is suffering with PTSD. Well, I don't know how familiar other people on the line are about having a marriage partner who has PTSD, but this is something which it's going to be with him for his entire life. And he does need to get therapy. I hope he's in therapy. And he needs support groups, and he needs support from his family. And whether you're consciously on board with this or not, you are going to be studying psychology because you're married to him. Okay? And you're going to be learning to deal with whatever episodes or issues come up with him. And you will learn to help him to live a normal life in spite of having that PTSD. So you can minimize the effects of it. Does that make sense to you?
It makes a lot of sense, and that's what I've been doing for the past 2 years.
Yep. And it's right, it's very timely. And I want to tell you this because any woman who's married to someone with PTSD says, oh my God, what have I done? Every once in a while. Oh my God, why am I here? Well, what you need to know, based on what this chart says, is that if he wasn't the person who is catalyzing your interest in psychology and why people do the things they do and act the way they act and are stimulated the way they're stimulated, if you weren't interested in that because of him, there would be something else in your life right now that was pushing you into it because you're supposed to be doing that. Cool, huh? Would you by any chance be thinking
Yeah.
of going back to school for counseling?
No, I've worked in special ed for 20 years, and I work with autistic Down syndrome. And
Okay, so this has already been a part of your life, and it always will. It's a part of who you are. hmm Now, are you thinking of writing a book on it? Yeah. It's time, collect that data, put it together, because you have a tremendous amount of important experience here, and it needs to be shared with the world.
Yeah, part of you skipped out. I have been writing a lot of different things, but I don't know how to put it together. I've been trying to ask my guide Beth what to do, and right now I just keep taking notes.
Now this time you kind of blitzed out. Um, what this chart says is that you're both teaching, which we know because you're teaching the autistic and the disabled children, but you're also writing. Okay, and this tells me that you probably need to maybe if you I'm going to share with you, if you are interested in writing, folks, right now the easiest place to get your writing off the ground is to work with Amazon's Create Space, because they will walk you through it. Okay, and there are also some great writing places online. As a matter of fact, Kayla Ambrose, who is a business coach on my site. You can connect with her through my site. You'll see her on the coaching page. She teaches people how to write. Okay, so that question probably didn't come up by accident, but it's time for you to write, and it's time for you to get that out there. Okay.
Wow, that is so funny you say that, because that has been, in my gut for the past 6 months, and I'm taking a class for activities, and I just wrote a 5-page paper that's supposed to be a 1-page paper.
Well, it's time. It's time. And there are so many things you can do. I don't want to take up the rest of our time, but you can start a blog. You can collect that blog into chapters. You can let your book build itself online. You can build a website with your book on it. You can just create a PDF. You can sell a PDF. You can make a book. You can sell the book on Amazon's Create Space. Thank God we live in this wonderful technological world where all of these things are not only possible, but it's beautiful. And think of how many people who are in the same kinds of situations and have dealt with the same kinds of circumstances that you have, that you can help through your communication, which is what you were born to do, by the way, because you're a Gemini. Okay?
Well, thank you very much. I will look into those places, because that has been a nagging thing with me.
Very good. Good luck to
Have a
you.
good have a good night.
You too. Good night. And Lisa, who is next? You said we had two people that were waving their hands both at the same time.
Well, actually, we have a bunch of hands, but no, the names are similar. Now I'm going to call on Deborah. Deborah, you are unmuted.
Hello, Deborah.
Hello, how are you this evening?
I'm very well.
Thank you. I'm a Leo from Ontario in Canada, like Lauren. And the thing that I'm very grateful for is, in a conversation with my children's father earlier this week, I had one of those epiphanies, and I just had an inrush of clarity and healing, and I'm still kind of surfing on that wave. And it was just exquisite. And so I'm very, very grateful for that. It was a blessing.
Yeah, isn't it amazing? And something like that comes at the strangest times. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
was a time when you didn't expect it, you wouldn't have asked for it, and it was a boon. Yeah.
Yes.
That
Yes.
is lovely. I'm grateful for that too.
And I'm very lucky, and I don't call him my ex-husband because there's nothing ex about him. He's still a very good friend, and he often has insights. He's known me for a long time, and I was very grateful for that. The question that I wanted to ask you, I'm having one of my typical Mars in Libra experiences. My dream, my heart's desire is to help families who have lost, specifically women, but family members to violence and have not been able to locate the bodies. That has been on my heart for a very, very, very long time. And as you say in the beginning of one of your books, in order to be a medium, you have to be a channel. In order to be a channel, you have to be psychic. So it's a long path that I have ahead of me. But lately, 2, 3, 4 times when I have asked tarot questions related to this, the tower has come up. And I know I'm supposed to go, eek, pride comes before a fall, stop, go back. But all I can see is the lightning hitting the crown. And remembering an expression, I think it's from one of your books, where you say when you were younger, the doors blew open. And I see that lightning, and I see the crown, and I see that release, and I just feel like that looks wonderful. That, of course, it'll be uncomfortable, but that's exactly what I want. And I'd really like to know your guides, my guides. I'd like them to weigh in on it, because I'm not sure if I'm being told, oh, don't be silly, that's a bad idea, or, yeah, it's coming, and it's going to be a little bit crazy.
So boiling it down to one question, because there was a lot in there, okay?
Yeah.
You really want to know if you follow the path that your heart is telling you to, which is to develop your mediumship skills.
Yes.
Which is interesting, because there's the moon and Pluto in this house where I knew we were going to talk about mediumship this evening. Okay, and it was in that house. The seventh house here represents me as the advisor here. So that, because this is a horary chart we're looking at. So your question really is, if I follow this path to develop my mediumship, am I going to be happy? And my guides are saying, you will, it's going to be a mixed bag, I'm being honest. You'll be happy, you'll be successful, but in the work that you elect to do, you really won't be able to tell anybody about what you're doing. There'll be a lot of secrecy in it. And that part of you that is the Leo and wants to pizzazz and be out there is going to... So
with the Gemini moon.
Right. You're old enough, mature enough, because if you just wanted to go out and be a medium and do messages sessions for people around your town, and maybe maybe advertise and do readings in a bigger way in some big city, you could be out there in the open, and you could do the Leo woman being on stage, but that's not the focus that your desire is carrying you. Your focus is that you want to work with people who have suffered extreme violence in their life, who have major emotional difficulties and fears. You actually are even considering if you can develop it to a fine enough talent working with the police. And
absolutely.
These are the directions your desire is carrying you. If you go that direction, you need to know right from the start, you will be a non-entity and no one will know your name. They can't.
Well, that wouldn't be the worst lesson for Leo.
Well, it's interesting. Isn't Leo's lesson about self-love? But that may be why you're seeing the tower, because there's a pretty heavy decision there. You know, your Leo wants to get out there and tell the whole world about everything, but what you want to do with your life needs to be quiet and secret.
Okay. So, but my guides are saying, just keep on the path, but know that great maturity will be required.
Yeah, your guides are saying that if you choose to do that, you have the ability. But they're not so sure you're going to stay on that path. Because they're thinking that somewhere along the line, you're going to develop those skills, and those skills will carry you in a different direction.
I mean, that's the way life works, isn't it?
Right. So, your desire to do that helpful work is going to probably get you started. But when it really comes to the end of what you're doing, you might find yourself in a very different place than you originally set out to do, which is fine.
Right. Yeah, that's the way life works.
I guess my guide's best advice to you is to be flexible. Because right now you think you know what you want, but when you really get involved and make it start happening, you may find you want something very different.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And Lisa, who is our next person?
Our next person is going to be Barbara. Barbara, you are unmuted.
Hi.
Hello, Barbara.
Well, I'm an Aries, and I was also very grateful for my angels, but second to that, we've received lovely rain in the past 3 weeks in intervals of a week. So the rain has been perfect, and I'm in California.
Oh,
We need the rain desperately.
you do. Yes, you do. Oh, good. That says a lot right there. And I already have gone over a lot with Aries, but I'm going to do that again because we did lose the beginning of this session because I forgot to press that record button.
That's right.
So you're actually the third Aries who's been on the call, and we've got Uranus and Aries right up here. This is in the top of the chart, the 10th house, and it's making a hard aspect to that little old controlling Moon and Pluto, which is 13 Capricorn, and also an opposition and another hard aspect to the Mars and the Venus that are in Libra, the sign of relationship. And that we call that in astrology a T-square when we have that configuration. And that's pushing the energy out into the first house, which is all about you carrying the load, you being responsible, you having to go through, your life has been ups and downs and shifts and changes for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
We've talked about that. And
Yeah.
you're ready to take charge of those changes and start making them happen your way. That's why this first house business is involved. But you want to do it in a way that doesn't throw the baby out with the bathwater. You want to keep the things that are important to you. You want to nurture the dream. You want to take the people you care about on with you. So you're busy trying to figure out how to make all these changes, but not lose everything you love in the process.
Well, that's my conflict right now. I was raising a granddaughter. She's now 15. She went to live with her mother a year ago. It's a terrible, terrible situation. But she is also an Aries, and I'm being contacted by counselors and other adults in authority about the possibility of her returning to my home. And I just don't know if I believe that she has done the work yet on herself, because she's, she knows what to say. She says the right things, but I don't know where she is in herself at the moment.
And that's a very good question. And I've got to tell you, my guides are giving me this mixed bag of information. First of all, they're telling me that you're letting go of her to begin with, for her to go back to her mom's.
Yeah.
Was like a knife in your heart twisting.
Yeah, it was.
It wasn't like, oh, this is a bad girl, send her away. This was, oh my God, my heart's being ripped out of my chest. Okay?
Exactly.
Well, now that she's had a taste of mom, she wants to come back to grandma, so everybody's contacting her. And so justifiably, your question is, if I take her back, will she do this to me again? Will she?
Exactly.
So that's the real question. So let's ask that. If you take her back, will she cause you that kind of harm by leaving and going back to mom or whatever again? The answer is no, not to mom. Will she leave you to go back to her father? No. Will she leave you in a lurch to just take off with friends or a boyfriend? No. So guess what?
That's the concern.
Yeah, I know. That's the concern.
Yeah.
And the thing is that she is, you're like twins, Aries and Aries. And you're the Aries who's made all the sacrifices, and she's the Aries who's taken. She's the Aries where it's all about me. Okay?
Exactly.
And
Yes.
then she gets to live with her mother, and she finds that mom is like, oh, mom, I mean, based on this chart, I hope the mom isn't your daughter. Because based on this chart, mom probably could be certifiable.
Yes.
So she's used to having somebody who's very predictable and very responsible and always there, and her mother is somebody who's totally freaky weird. Now,
Yes.
one thing I can tell you is that after having gone and lived with mom for that year, she won't want to go back there, but she will have a long-term fear because she's got those genes. And she has seen those behaviors in herself. After all, why would she have left you and gone back to mom? Because she did it on purpose. She did that to cause you pain, not just out of selfishness.
Mm, yeah.
Okay, and here's the thing. She's asking herself, how much like mom am I? Now, can I ask you, if she comes back to live with you, can you make a condition of that she goes for therapy?
Well, she was fired by her last therapist. She's been in therapy for years. It could be one of the conditions. I have been making a
I'm
list.
sorry, I have absolutely hearing this, no respect for a therapist who fires a child. Okay? So take that under consideration and find a real therapist for her. Okay?
Well, the issue is whether she will work with the therapist.
Oh,
That was the problem. Is she knows, she's very street smart, and she
right.
knows the right things to
We
say.
know that. But we also know that you made the condition. You can come back with me if you go to therapy. And if I find you're not in therapy, you're going back to your mother's.
Okay.
Okay? There's conditional.
Yeah.
See, and where's the lesson here for you? The lesson is, if you're going to change your life again, and if you're going to you should tell her, come right out and tell her, if I take you back, I have to make sacrifices. I have to
Yeah.
stop my classes. I have to put my life on hold. I have to take a room out of my house for you. You think I'm going to do that if you're going to pull this garbage on me? So guess
Exactly.
what? It's called tough love, okay? And it would be a really good thing for you also to get some counseling to learn how to deal with her, okay?
Yes.
Meanwhile, everybody out there, aren't you glad you're not my kid? My guys would not let my kids get away with anything. That's probably why I never had any. Okay, I hope that was helpful. I know it was a little.
It was, and I'm sorry. I'm thinking about what you said, and I have been thinking about this, so it just validates what I'm thinking.
Well, and
Thank you.
honestly, folks, the only way that you can feel, and this is for everyone, the only way that you can feel safe in a situation where you have been hurt or harmed or rejected or is to set boundaries, to take your control back in your life. It's the only way that you can feel safe and whole in a situation that's caused you pain. So either you don't go back, or you go back with strong, intense, solid boundaries. You got it? And that hits every aspect of life. Okay? I.e., you're an Aries who's learning that it's okay to be self-protective, my friend. Okay?
Yes. Thank you.
So good luck to you. Thank you for calling in.
Thank you.
And Lisa, I'm going to try and fit 3 more people in, so we're going to move a little faster. Let's go.
Yeah, we're going to have to talk fast. All right, the next person is Susan. Susan, you are.
Hello, Susan. Hello, Susan. I'm not hearing Susan on the line.
Hello?
Okay, there you are, Susan.
Hello.
Hi.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. I didn't know how to maneuver with this thing. I've never done this before.
Well, welcome.
So anyways, the question that I have to ask
Oh,
is
hold it.
basically
Hold it. Wait. What's your name is Susan. Where are you from?
I'm from Louisiana.
I should have known that with that beautiful accent. And what's your son's name?
Thank you. I'm a Sagittarius.
Okay, and based on the chart I have up here, your sun sign is going to be falling into the 6th house all the way down here, which means that you've got both everyday issues, work issues, and health issues on your mind tonight. Now, what's your specific question?
Yeah. Okay. This specific question, I don't know if I should ask this question, but I have to because it's bothering me. I've been having dreams about it. It's this person that I think is my twin flame. I'm not sure. And I wanted to know why this person is in my life and what purpose will they serve towards my spiritual development, because I think that's why they've been placed in my life. And so this is the main question that I had to ask.
Oh, this is a very confusing time in your life, isn't it? Okay. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
here's this person to whom I am extremely attracted. This is why I know that this person must be a twin flame. Or there may just be a whole lot of dynamic attraction. You've got to check your heart, your gut feeling to tell the difference there. You see, my guides don't really think he's a twin flame. Okay? My
I think
guides,
we're going to say
yeah,
that.
my guides, you trust yourself. Don't trust me. Always trust yourself, folks. Okay? You test it. Does it feel right or not? My guides don't think he's a twin flame. My guides think, yeah, he is there in your life to kind of test you. He's there in your life to draw you out, to tempt you, to force you to get out of your comfort zone and to make some changes. That's why he's there. He's not there to be the savior. He's not there to fix it all. He's not there to be there after the castle collapses. Okay? Keep all this in mind. He's there to force the issue.
Wow, okay.
I know you didn't like that. But
Well, it's helpful because I just feel like, I just want to make sure that I'm making the right choice to walk away from him. And that's why I asked you this question, because I've been thinking about walking away from him and moving another direction. And I wanted to make sure that I'm making the right choice.
yeah, well, and here we could spend a lot of time on this one. But in a nutshell, the correct choice is going to be to move on. However, it's not going to be so easy because there has been an awful lot of connectivity created there. And it's going to be very, very hard to extract yourself. And so you really need to do the right soul searching, be certain and sure, not just based on what I tell you, but on what your own inner self tells you. And then you need to develop a support system, either your family or a couple of close friends. It's going to be hard to do this on your own. Okay?
Okay. Well, thank you so much. I think you have answered my question.
Good. I wish you much luck. Love to you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Lisa, who's our next person?
All right, our next person is going to be Karen. Karen, you're unmuted.
Hello, Karen. I know we've got some new people on this evening, so it's a little bit hard to learn to work those buttons. Karen, you have a microphone. You're going to have to click on it. Find it and click on your mic. And I know she's going to be yelling at herself if she can't get this question out. Karen, I tell you what, if you cannot find the microphone, please type the question into the chat room, and I'm going to move on to the next person. But meanwhile, Lisa will be able to go and read that question in the chat room. So go ahead and type it. Maybe your computer's mic isn't working. Okay? And Lisa, who's next on our list?
All right, then the next person is going to be Victoria. Victoria, you are unmuted.
Hello, Victoria. Oh no, here we go again.
Hello.
Hi. Yes, you found it.
How are you this evening?
I'm good. Victoria, where are you calling from?
New York.
Oh, my hometown. Yes. What part of New York are you from?
Long Island.
Me too. Where on Long Island?
Farmingdale.
Okay, you're a little further out. I was born in Franklin Square.
Oh, wow. Not too far.
Not too far. And what are you most grateful for right now tonight?
My daughter.
Nice. And what sign are you?
Libra.
Okay. So here you are down here, the bottom of the chart, Mars and Venus. So you are another one of those people right now who is a part of this D-square, okay? Only for you, it's really about how to keep balance in the family right now, isn't
Yeah.
it? So what's your question?
My question is, my daughter's been having a lot of dreams about, my mom actually just passed away, and she's been having a lot of dreams, and she's getting a lot of signs, and she wants to know, basically, is it my mom coming through to her? How does she tell if it's a psychic dream or if it's really a visit?
I do think it's a psychic dream. I do think your mom is coming through to her. And I think your mom is there for her because your mom thinks she needs her right now. And that's good. So mom is acting as a guide.
Okay. That was another question I wanted to know. Like, if a relationship's coming into my life.
Yeah, and one of the reasons mom is acting as a guide for your daughter is because she doesn't like your daughter's father. And the answer is yes, there is a relationship coming into your life, and your daughter may have trouble with that. And your mom's going to help.
Okay, and you hit that right on the nail with the father part. There's a lot of issues going on with that.
Yeah. Well, trust your mom. Where you cannot make headway with your daughter's feelings, your mom can. Okay? So let that be and just back off because you cannot change what was. Okay?
Now, what do you mean by that? Because she's having a lot of issues, like not wanting to see him or go with him or really be a part of his life.
And how old is she?
12.
At 12 years, and if, to the best of my knowledge, at 12 years old in the state of New York, she's allowed legally to make that choice. So you need to back off and let her make her choice. Okay?
Yeah.
It doesn't mean it's a forever choice.
Right.
Kids are kind of interesting. If she really doesn't want to go to see him, then through your attorney, because your ex-husband isn't a nice man, through your attorney, you need to tell him that he either gets to say, okay, I'll pull back until she's ready to see me again, or I'll see you in court because he can now make a choice. And what's interesting is by giving her the control now, he may actually maintain a relationship with his daughter at some time in the future. But we'll see. Is he a wise man or is he not?
Right.
And your mom is going to help your daughter work through all this. Okay?
Okay. And one more quick question. You said that there was a relationship and my daughter might not be
No, because
so happy.
Your daughter just doesn't want her dad in her life, but she doesn't want a man in your life. She wants you.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's not unusual.
I'm sorry, you cut off. I didn't hear you.
That's not unusual. And we're out of time. We're 10 o'clock. So I wish I could give you more time, but that's as much as I can allot right now. Okay? Thank you very much for calling in, though, and I hope that helped. I hope it gives you some direction. Meanwhile, because I was kind of cutting myself off in the beginning, I do have some quick announcements I want to repeat at the end here. The next Psychic Hour, if you want to make a note of it, is going to be on December 13th at 9 o'clock. That's another Sunday. Also, we have two important webinars coming up. There's a webinar next Thursday. That's Thursday the 19th of November. And that webinar is on replenishing and keeping your own energy up. So I'm going to give you all kinds of hints and tools for this holiday season and how to keep your energy going and how to ground it, how to recognize when it's being stolen, and really how to hang on to your goodwill and good feeling throughout the holiday season without getting drained and sometimes angry when we should be happy. At any rate, that's going to be next Thursday. I also have a webinar coming up on December 17th. It's called The Evolution of Consciousness. I'm going to be doing a whole series in that, off and on. It won't be every webinar in a row, but it'll be a series of them. It's the evolution of consciousness, and this particular one is what you can do to take charge in your own life as an evolving being. And again, just in time for the holiday season, getting in charge of your own life and feeling good about everything that's going on in your world. Please also put on your calendar, the Anastasia System of Psychic Development is beginning again in January. In Tampa, Florida, live, I'll be teaching a 4-day immersion from January 28th to 31st. Please, if you want to study and develop your psychic abilities and you can possibly get there, I promise you there's nothing like it on the planet. It is absolutely wonderful. And I only take about 35 students max, so you've got to get your name in the hat early to make sure that you can actually get there and be part of it. We'll be teaching levels 1 and 2 in January. So if you want to get it started, January 28th to 31st is the time to get on board with that. Go to my website, www.sandyanastasia.com, to sign up for any of those things. And also to make sure you're on my newsletter, because the only way you're going to find out about my Black Friday sales is if you're on my newsletter. I'm running sales on readings. I'm running sales on my coaching. I'm running sales on a cruise that we're going to be doing next April. You got to check the site out to find out all about that. And I'm running a special that's going to come up on my classes as well. But you're not going to find out any of this stuff or how to get on board with it unless you sign up for my newsletter. So please do that now. It's www.sandyanastasia.com. I want to thank you all for coming and being here with me tonight. You're just so absolutely amazing. I love the direction we have been going with everything on this question and answer psychic hour with me this evening. One last question that came from someone who couldn't be here tonight was how to develop your intuition. She's a gal from Australia. She wants to know, do I know anybody in Australia? I know astrologers in Australia. I don't know anyone teaching psychic development in Australia right now. I did have someone there, but she moved back to the U.S. So right now I don't have that. But what I do have is my assistant, Lisa Freeman, is a fabulous coach, and you can take the Anastasia system online via MP4 videos or MP3 audios, whichever works best. I like the videos best myself, and get the coaching with Lisa, and you can study that at home in your own living room, and you can get certified in the Anastasia system, and you really can learn to be a practicing, effective, helpful psychic channel and medium. I won't be teaching myself online again. I have a class going right now. I won't be teaching online again until next summer. So the best thing to do is either come to Tampa live with me, or if you can't travel, get the coaching with Lisa. Check it out on my site, www.sandyanastasia.com. Thank you very, very much for coming. I love you. Good night. See you next month.